I just had a fucking nightmare.
Okay.
You alright?
You don't look alright, man. You're sweating.
Shit, I hope I'm not coming down with something.
Yes, you are. Insight. Knowledge. Truth is in here with you.
On one hand, this is all generally fascinating, yet were I now in a certain underground investigative unit with Mr. Khan on the phone, we would have a whole entire investigation we could undertake. Sadly, I'm in a goddamn prison waiting on the next visit from Mrs. Bakur.
We're gonna do it like this. You're gonna go and get out of here, not turn back. I will hold on to this, and I won't follow you and you won't follow me. Okay?
Okay. The dog. Okay. Stares at you. It waves its tail, moving towards the dark, hulking shadow of Armley. But somewhere else in the park, you hear a scream. Scream.
This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
It's a leaden, dark, grey afternoon. It is today, late in the day. Paul, there has been no sleep. The mattress feels lumpy. The smells in the cell, the organics, the chemical smells of hand sanitizer and the deodorant, the spice smell, the rumblings from the cells, the rhythmical noises, the screams. They are not what kept you awake all through the night. No. It's the memory of the face. It's those flickering images. Clink, 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 stop. Freeze frame. There. You haven't touched the devices under the bed. But you know they're there. And you know what the tapes contain. But you're not sure what you saw. But wherever you saw, it is in here, stalking this ward every night, taking blood every night. That thing with its mouth. It tastes acrid in your mouth. Haven't brushed your teeth today. You don't know if you've left the bed. The question is, how are you dealing with this? Because soon it's time for you to present your case to the prison governor. I would like you to just roll a composure plus resolve to see roughly how you're dealing with things.
Very well. 3 successes.
You're keeping it together. It's there's nothing you can do about it now. Yeah. There's so much time to think. What's running through your head while you wait the last minutes before you're supposed to be called away downstairs? Your cellmate, of course, is there, down on his bed. Hard to know if he's asleep or not. It's almost as if your immobility has spread to him. He's just been still, and he's breathing sometimes. What are you thinking?
I find that the only solace right now almost is sending messages to him. Focus on someone other than myself. I keep reciting the texts, the accounts of Genesis, the different verses. My thoughts are hard to keep at bay, and it's also hard to think what is actually important right now. Is it important that I try and stay in here as short a time as possible, that I focus on the mission? In one way, I want to contact my family again, but I know I can't. So I'm projecting it all through the texts, trying to help myself. Then God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, the birds, the animals, and all the creatures that move along the ground, so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in number on it." And I'm so tired. The words that come are just words.
It becomes almost a mantra, something that the mouth does and the lungs do while the mind wanders. You keep getting torn out of your biblical reverie by the sounds. You're not alone in praying, but some are screaming their prayers. God, 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 let us out! Oh, God! Please! How long can they do this to us? How long can they keep us banged up? Somebody fucking call amnesty! We're not getting banged up no more! We're not getting banged up no more! Somebody's gonna talk to the governor or something, come on! Let us be it! We're dying! Fuck, how many have to die? Fucking there's something spreading here, don't you get it? Fuck, let me out! Let me out! There's a humid heat in the air that wasn't there before, and movement and unrest almost in the bones of the building itself.
Why does he kill them? How can he gain something by killing them? He, she, what is it? Why not keep them alive so he can keep feeding on them? And then I just stop and I wonder if I said that aloud or if I was just thinking it.
The footsteps of the screw aren't noticeable until he gets really, really close and touches the door, pulling the hatch open. It's handlebars at least. He looks in around the room. Well, it seems all's really quiet here. You ready, Richard?
Sure.
Got your best shoes on?
As polished as they get.
Yeah. Your first adjudication, is it?
Yes. Do you have any advice?
Yeah. Be truthful, give context, be to the point, don't get yourself in unnecessary trouble, but be truthful. The governor isn't bad at all. He's a while he starts opening the lock. He's had this job since the early 70s, and he still carries a bit of that idealism, believe it or not. He believes in rehabilitation. Just remember that. And think about how much you want to be in B-Wing and how much you want to live. Because, sir, your past career will not let you rest for long in here. No matter how many smiles you get. Here, this way. Come out. Let's take 2 steps out of the cell.
Well, haven't been helped by it so far. I do my 2 steps.
Stretch your hands up.
I do it.
He pats you down. Just very quickly, cursorily. Then you can hear something from a door nearby. It's an insistent banging.
Hey, Paul, they listen to you. Tell them we're going on a hunger strike. Yeah, tell them something. They can't fucking keep us in here while we're fucking dying from some blood disease. Okay, get the message.
Handlebars looks at you coldly while he takes out handcuffs and put them on you. This way.
Anyone else start to feel poorly lately?
Yeah, Abdul is still feeling bad. After your altercation, that is. But otherwise, I can't really comment on that.
Of course.
Not keeping us banged up no more.
You go down the hallway. The noise is low, rumbling, but steady. There's at least 10, 15 cells that have made it their mission to make rhythmical noise or sound disturbances, scream. There's even a fire alarm at one of the doors, probably a smoke alarm of some kind. A smell of weed and burnt chemicals is heavy. And the handlebars on locks the metal door out, opens it, look through the bars of the next door, opens that one, takes you down the spiral staircase into the big day room, out in the hallway past 2 more sluice doors. The red light turns green. You're out in the main hallway, shuffling down towards the medical unit and offices. Offices and reception on the left side and medical unit on the right. Handlebars is joined by another screw in the main corridor. Keeps an additional eye on you. And there, in the hallway outside, she stands, impeccable as always. Madeleine Boucour. Handlebars opens the door and steps into a hallway with an open office area on the right. Several tables. The screws keep a tight hold of both your arms as you move through the area. A couple of office workers look up. Boucour, you follow after them.
Mrs. Boucour, you are part of this hearing as well then?
Yes, of course. Just to observe.
I nod, trying to stop biting my cheek. It's like I always have to keep biting something these days.
Slight taste of blood. The adjudication room is a bare office. No windows. So the grey late afternoon, early evening light that was out in the office room, even that is dampened and replaced with a clinical cold light from above. There's a long table, light blue. There's bare walls, light yellow, and a dirty carpet in some tone that could be red or purple. The chairs are simple metal. In the chair on the far end is the governor of Armley Jail. He's a large man. Corpulent would be the polite term. Dry skin flaking on his forehead. Brushy eyebrows and curious light green eyes. His lips are full and he smiles with what looks like heart and stands up. He's wearing a fairly expensive jacket and blue jeans. No tie, but a nice shirt. Everything of impeccable quality. Shoes also good. He stretches out a round hand. It reminds you briefly of some strange balloon animal. He stretches it forward towards you, Paul. Good day. I am Steve Robson. Governor Steve Robson. Pleased to meet you.
Mr. Steve Robson.
He shakes your hands in the handcuffs, like he's not seeing them. I hope you're acclimatizing to your new circumstances. I'm aware of your service record. Please, have a seat.
Thank you. I take a sit.
There's a half-inch stack of paper on his end of the table, and the mechanical pencil sharpener. Takes out a new sharp pencil and looks down at the sheet. So, about 2 weeks ago, on March the 30th, you and a fellow prisoner by the name of Abdul Bambad were involved in an armed altercation. Is this correct?
That is correct.
The altercation occurred in your cell. Is that correct?
Yes, though he was hardly the only person involved.
Yes, good. Very good. Abdul is still recovering from his injuries in a soft cell by the infirmary. And as you have already begun... Yeah, it feels stupid interrogating you, so just tell me what happened.
I don't know on whose order or whose wish, but I got the impression that they needed to show an ex-policeman that he was not in power anymore. And they wanted to rough me up. I wasn't sure if they came in with lethal intent, and so I might have overdone my response.
So let's take this from the beginning. You were in your cell.
Yes.
Was anyone else in the cell with you?
Yes, my cellmate.
Yes, a Rodney Mosley.
That's correct.
Yes. Yeah, how is he doing? Bokur's predecessor here had quite some dealings with him.
He seems in a disturbed, very upset state. He seemed to believe that he somehow had betrayed me as these people came in, though he...
Wait one moment, right there. Is he still being bullied and forced to do services for other inmates?
He sings.
He sings? Does he still sing?
He does.
I've heard about the singing. I've heard about the singing, yes.
Most nights, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's... I don't know how that came to pass, but I think that he is doing many of them.
Let's not get sidetracked here. So, he was in the cell, and you say he showed some signs of regret or something. Could he have somehow been involved in signaling or otherwise enabling the situation?
Yes.
Yes.
He asked me to come back to the cell.
Oh, even that. Yes. So, okay. I see. Mm-hmm. And the assailants, when they entered, were they armed?
Not that I saw at first.
Mm-hmm.
No.
How did you first discover their hostile intent?
I tried talking to them as they came in.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what you said?
Something in the lines of that I understand why you feel the need to do this, but there could be another way. I was trying diplomacy.
Did they give any statement as to the cause of the attack? I mean, your speculation is both reasonable and probably true, but did they give any reason of their own?
They were a mixed group. They seemed to all have their own ideas. It felt like they just wanted to prove themselves for someone.
How many were they?
3.
3. So the other 2 remain unidentified. Do you know the identity of the other 2 assailants?
And out of character, I believe I would.
Yeah.
As I try to keep a registry of all or as many inmates as possible, they would have been among them.
Yeah, there was a Jarl Jones Fasil and Kellings. A guy they just called Kellings. I see. The governor says as you state the names. Yeah, I'm not surprised about Jones, not at all. He's been in isolation on multiple occasions. So, as Mr. Jones, Mr. Kellings, and Abdul came into the cell at the behest of Rodley Mosley, what occurred?
Like I said, I tried to talk them out of whatever intent they had. They wouldn't have it, and so they physically attacked me. I did my best to defend myself.
Yes, I see here. Yes, you had lacerations and also bruisings in the rib area, possibly a sprained or broken rib. But these are also... This is to be injuries from a sharp weapon. Will you tell me how that got into play?
Have you found the weapon?
And no. Then perhaps you can enlighten us.
There was one of them. Who did what at this point? You have to forgive. Is a bit blurry, but there was one that later fell over the railing I believe
yes,
it was...
there was Abdul.
Yes. I believe Abdul then was the one that initially had the weapon. I only saw metal, and it was then that I started to try and convince Mosley to intervene, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
With a feeling of what I perceived as repentance.
That's surprising. He turns to Madeleine. You see, Rotley Mosley, many in our personal core would have expressed their belief that he wouldn't last more than a year in here. He has been extremely nervous. He's pushed around. He's engaging a lot in conversation with very hardened criminals, and it gets him nowhere. He only gets used, abused, and forced to do favors for others in the jail constantly.
We have been praying together. I've been trying to help him.
Do you believe you've had a positive effect on his development?
I would like to believe so, yes.
And this positive development expresses in him engaging in violence in the premises of my prison.
I would say coming to my aid, first and foremost.
Yes.
He has nothing to gain by helping me.
But that did involve him in the fight. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Did Rodney cause any of the injuries?
He was trying to keep them away from me more than anything. I don't believe that he was responsible for actually hurting them.
So most of the injuries that Abi sustained are from you.
I can't take responsibility for him falling over the railing as he stumbled out, but that would, I believe, would make the most of the injuries, but aside from that, yes. I can only take responsibility for that.
No, of course, he just happened to fall, didn't he? Just fell out of the cell.
I don't know. He was in a group with the other three. The other two.
Well. The the surveillance footage from the landing will settle that. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Detective, ex-Detective Richards? You are a dishonorably discharged policeman. What do you want to do to survive your prison sentence? Because that is the first thing we are here to discuss.
I appreciate that, and thank you. There was an incident in the yard a week later where Donnie, as I believe you would know him by, came to...
You mean Donald Hennessy, B3-13, from Leeds. Mm-hmm. Yep.
He came rushing towards me and changed his mind. It is my hope that this is the beginning of a change. If you're worried about my sake, for other people being hurt, I couldn't really tell, but I wouldn't worry about me at this point. I just want to serve out my sentence as quickly as possible, but I do not fear for further attacks.
No, you don't, do you? It's my responsibility to see to the safety of all of my wards. I detect in your statement an implied threat, meaning that you can take care of yourself. Are you being institutionalized, Richard? Are you... Did you just say that you are such a bad man that they will leave you alone, or that you can take care of yourself? Do you truly believe in that? Richard?
That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't believe that they will see much further gain in attacking me.
Mm-hmm.
There is one group that is proving a bit unruly, and it's the Sikhs. I would like you to consider acquiring a Bhagavad Gita for the library.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we're in Birmingham, so you will have problem with Sikhs.
Yes, but I believe it doesn't help when they're not allowed to practice their...
Oh, they are. Of course they are.
Religion.
Yes. I'm making a note of this. So I think you refer to the interfaith interest group here. Right?
Yes, I mean... I feel like some of us are more privileged in turning to our faith than others. And I believe can find common ground between us if we are all allowed to practice and discuss in between.
Marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
I try to read him at this point. Is he honest in that, or is he...
He actually makes a note, and you see he actually writes Gita on the paper.
Thank you.
So, I believe you are mistaken in your belief that you will remain unscathed. Madeleine.
Yes.
We do you believe in Richard's assessment that he has put the fear or in the rest of the inmates, or that he has acquired a position that makes it safe for him to remain in B ward as he has done, and he's been involved in not one but, as we hear now, a second altercation, even if it came to nothing. This is 2 of these incidents for an incarceration time of under 3 months. What do you say?
Well, of course I can't comment on the possible motivations of all the inmates, but it is highly unusual for a former police officer to not be in the VPU with the other vulnerable prisoners. I think that it might be best both for Paul and for the people who surrounds him if he were moved.
Paul, what do you think when Miss Bocour says that?
I don't want to appear prideful, sir. I merely want to be in a place where I can serve and make a difference, even if it's during serving my own penitence. I hope to help people.
There are still work shifts in the VPU, and you will continue to remain a productive member of this institution. You will only be separate from the other prisoners.
The situation is volatile right now because of what is happening, the people that are falling ill. Is there anything you plan to do about this?
Yes, I've heard the rumors. I've heard them talking. Some sort of a super AIDS, some sort of blood transferal disease that makes people weak. We have... These are... Not everyone here handles incarceration well. Some of them have been in situations like this, where the final result has been that their sentences have been prolonged. They have done attacks, there have been murders. These are not reliable people. And also, rumors spread very fast. When I have a word from my prison doctor that we indeed have some sort of infection or disease, then you will all be the first to know. It's nothing but a rumor. It's nothing to be worried about.
Well, that doesn't necessarily...
What I'm worried about is you, Paul.
Why?
Your health. Your sentence.
And how exactly long would I be in that VPU for the rest of the sentence? Or is it just trying to calm things down now?
We'll see. It's all a matter of taking things as they come.
Well,
do you have anything more to add?
I talk to people, I see people. I believe I'm making a difference in B ward. My cellmate, for example, I believe he's improving. I wish to continue that. If there would be further attacks, then certainly. But please let's give it one more chance. That's my...
Let's do it like this. My preliminary recommendation will be a transfer to the vulnerable prisoners unit. But I would like you to have a session with Miss Bukur to ascertain your psychological well-being and the possible psychological repercussions of being in the vulnerable prisoner unit. If she also gives a recommendation, it is settled.
One last thing.
Yes?
And first, out of character, do I know any more spice heads that so far haven't been attacked?
Yes, there's a couple. B148 Masri. He's started smoking. He was a nice bloke when he was written in, but he's already on the pipe. There's A433 Rick. Those are the two that you think about instantly.
Keep an eye on Rick and Masri. I've been trying to identify signs of these symptoms. I think I've seen something. If you will.
He looks down at the paper, looks up again, hovers with the sharp pencil above the paper as he's about to write the names down, and takes out a ballpoint pen and writes them on the inside of his hand. Thank you. We will hopefully not have reason to encounter each other again for quite some time. And don't you worry, Richards. 10 years fly by before you know it. So, if that was all...
I give him a nod. Governor Robson.
Mr. Richards?
Just nod and look at Handlebars to take me back.
Handlebars opens the door. The late afternoon light has almost become leaden, dark. The clouds above, you can see out through the windows in the office. These clouds are heavy, storm heavy. Not a single ray of light will get through that. You're walked back towards the medical unit, where you're slated for a physical checkup as well, to see how your injuries from the altercation are healing. Somewhere in the corridor, you hear a loud banging noise from somewhere deeper in the prison. You hear the running of feet and screaming. Unrest. Somewhere far in the distance is the VPU unit. Away from everything else. Away from your friends. Away from the light of day.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the third season of the chronicle No Man is an Island for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Our storyteller was Martin Ericsson, and we were also joined by Anna-Karin Linder and Freja Gyldenstrøm. The music was created by Lola Zaza, and the sound effects are from the fine folks at freesound.org, zapsplat.com, and Syrinscape. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Ludwig Manford, Bob Lange, Julián, Cameron, Ryan F., and Xabier for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check it out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. And remember, death is not the end.